Hello, welcome to Plate-Based Large Family. Today I thought I'd share some successes and failures of this year's garden. Now keep in mind, most of the time I don't even know why they're failures and sometimes not even successes, but I just thought maybe if I shared it would help you with your garden. Okay, we'll start with potatoes. So I planted fingerling potatoes here. Planted this patch first, and I planted this patch second. So it would make sense that it was behind, but this is so far behind that something's wrong. I mean, you can see, look at all those that never sprouted. I guess they just rotted underneath. I've never had that happen before. No idea why it happened. Last year we had, what did we have here? We had sunflowers, we had corn, we had beans here. So I'm not sure. These don't look very healthy either. I'm not sure if it's just this section of the garden hasn't had a lot of fertilizer, hasn't had a lot of manure here. So I'm not sure I put any manure here. I think I just put wood chips. Or if it's because of what was here before, or if it's just the fingerling need a different type of environment. This is my first year growing fingerling, so I'm not sure. So that would be fail. Okay, here's another patch of potatoes. Last year this had tomatoes in it. And it's doing pretty well. Not a lot of potato bugs. This patch was actually prepared 3 years ago with the chickens. We put a chicken tractor over this. Right next to this patch is another section of potatoes. We just ripped this tarp up last year and never put any manure down, but the soil seemed pretty good under it. And then last fall there were peas growing right here. So they're doing decent. You can still see some bare spots where potatoes didn't ever sprout. The raised beds are doing really well with potatoes. The raised beds tend to do better with everything just because they started off with better soil. They didn't start off with clay soil. They started off with, peat moss and vermiculite and lots of compost. So they just do better. And then this section, kind of at the bottom of the garden, this had sunflowers and corn and beans in it as well, but it's doing a lot better than the other section. And it's at the bottom of a slope just on the different side of the garden, so I truly don't know. We didn't put any manure on this section. These were planted first. Out of all the potato beds, these were planted first, and these were planted second. But I did want to show you that our pollinators are doing really well. They're pollinating our potato flowers, and I don't know, can I plant these? I've heard that I could plant these little, I don't know what you call them, potato buds. You let me know in the comments if I could if I could save those and plant those next year. Okay, back here at the front of the garden, here is a fail, a big time fail, and I really don't know what happened. This section had potatoes in it last year. I planted corn and climbing beans here. The climbing beans are getting eaten alive, and the corn is not growing well. We've added manure. It is possible that we put so many layers of tarp, and this has happened before, that we've ripped up tarp, put down mulch, things don't grow, and I dig down there, and there's actually another layer of weed cloth that we didn't see. So I might have to do that later this summer. But for right now, I have no idea what's going on. All I know is it's a big fail. The reason I know that was a big fail is because this was planted the exact same day. Actually, you know what? I think this was planted a day later. And they're doing great. You can see some peas in there. My first planting of peas, a lot of them died off from the frost, so we just used this bed for corn. But we're actually harvesting some peas. So this plot's doing double duty. I might have to keep that in mind for next year. Here's another success for corn. And this section was just ripped up last year, and we put down chicken manure. So this corn's doing really well. These are the beans you saw me plant the other week. I don't remember when. I'll put it on the screen. Even though they look really holey, this is actually a success. Most of the time my beans look so much worse. So, I don't know, I've been putting DE on them, trying to get rid of those bean beetles. And I think I put compost on here this past fall. So that's a success, for me at least. Another success are my brassica patches. My broccoli and my cabbages, and then I have tomatoes that I still need to transplant, and I have lots of beets. These have done really well this year. Last year I uncovered them, and that was a bad move. So definitely a success when I cover them, because this is what happens when they're not covered. Good. I had this great idea this year to grow watermelon and let it grow up and over our old chicken tractor. However, I've planted watermelon seeds twice now, and very few are coming up. Not a single one has come up on this side. Lots of weeds here. Nothing, and one. I have one watermelon. I'm going to plant some more, but I was like going to be my huge success, and it's turned out to be a failure so far. I'm going to keep planting them so we can get more and have them grow over the chicken tractor, and then in the chicken tractor it's growing, and I have celery growing, and then I have a nice weed in there with my carrots. And I planted all that in there because they like shade, and I thought the watermelons could shade them out. That's not going to happen unless I plant more seeds, so I got to get on that. Okay, and the last success I wanted to share was the strawberry patch. I think we are done with the raccoons, or I guess I'm not sharing the success of the strawberry patch, but rather the success of the electric fencing. So if you know me at all, you know I am super duper type A and pretty OCD. I was not the one to put up this electric fencing. My husband, who is not like me at all, he's very much a free spirit. He put up the fencing, so he just eyeballed it. So since the raccoons were still getting in, I went ahead and came out with a ruler. Oh yes, a ruler. And I measured every single post to see if it was 8 inches. And some were 12 inches. And so I think it was really easy for the raccoon just to crawl under, because I've seen the chickens do it. They just kind of tuck their heads and go under it. And some were 5 inches. And so I guess it's possible it could have just gone straight over. So I raised or lowered all the fencing to be exactly 8 inches. And what I did next was I took away this board, because this is the place that the raccoon got in, right underneath here. It dug a hole 2 or 3 times before I figured out how to keep it out. So I didn't take the fencing down completely, but I made it pretty accessible. Then also, right behind here, I set up my neighbor's camera that he so graciously allowed us to borrow, to see if it is indeed getting in. And so far, it has not gotten in, and we've been able to really pick all the strawberries we've needed from our strawberry bed. So I think that's a success. Of course, you know, I could report in a week, oops, just kidding. Or when the corn comes in, well, they figured out a way. But so far, I think that the electric fencing set at 8 inches is going to do the trick. As long as we keep the grass cut, you know, and it's not touching the fencing. So that's a quick overview of all my successes and failures of our Back to Eden garden this summer so far. Have a great day. See you next time.